Maggie, welcome back to my channel. So, are you coming to Paris? Do you love, I don't know, books? Well, this is going to be a good video for you then, because I'm going to tell you about all the places that you can find English bookstores or books in English. Obviously, living in France, the language is French, so you can't just stroll into any bookstore and necessarily always find what you're looking for in English, which is one of the things that I love when I go home to America and I can go to whatever bookstore I want, and there's just so many. But in France, there is still, well, in Paris, there's still like a lot of places that have really good options. And we're going to start with my absolute favorite. So starting off strong, we have Smith & Sons. This bookstore is my favorite. There's actually two locations. There's one in the first on Rue Rivoli, I guess it is. Yeah, Rue Rivoli. And there's a second, kind of smaller one in the third in the Marais. I cannot for the life of me think of the street, but it's a famous street. And I've talked about it before. I digress. You want a book in English? Go to Smith & Sons. They're going to have any kind of genre, any kind of age. They have children's, they have young adult, they have adults, they have nonfiction, fiction, self-help. They just have such a huge variety and it's always up to date. They always have such a huge selections. They even have magazines, newspapers from English-speaking countries. It's crazy how much stuff they have. They also have Jellycats if you're looking for a place that has Jellycats. They're there. They have British snacks. There's just so much in this store. And let's say they don't have the books that you're looking for. Ask one of the staff. They'll order it for you. This bookstore is amazing. Whenever I want to treat myself, I go to Smith & Sons and I buy myself a new book. Some of these are from Smith & Sons. Couldn't tell you which ones because I have no idea. I'm pretty sure First Time Color bought at Smith & Sons. I just love it. They have a staff that is fully Anglophone and Francophone, meaning they speak the both languages. So if you are French speaking, you can also just go there and speak naturally to the staff, which is great. And I just think it's an amazing bookstore. They also have a tea room. So if you want to go buy some books and then have tea and a little lunch, they have a tea room for you. So what more can you ask for? And we're actually going to stay on Rue Rivoli and just go down a little bit more. And I know I'm going to butcher this because it's Italian. So Galganani, I believe is how you say that name. I'm so sorry. Italian is not one of the two languages that I can speak. So Gagliani is a bookstore that is actually the first bookstore where English books were sold in Paris. It was opened by actually an Italian newspaper editor, who moved from Italy to the UK and then eventually to France, and he opened a bookstore that had books from different languages and one being English. This bookstore is really pretty. It has a really big selection as well. I think this Rue Rivoli is actually a great street if you want to get new books and not pre-owned or secondhand. So please check out this bookstore. I think it has such a charm and it's so old, and you just feel sort of you feel the Parisian vibe a little bit when you're in this bookstore. Now probably moving on to the most famous English bookstore in Paris, which is Shakespeare & Company. Go here if you're a tourist. Don't go here necessarily if you're a local, because if you're a local, you're going to be in line with all the tourists and then you're going to have to wait maybe 40 minutes just to buy a new book. But nonetheless, it is a beautiful space. It's such a cute little bookstore, which is why it's famous. It's right across the street from Notre Dame. So it's a very Parisian touristy location. Like I said, there's always going to be a line. Unless you get there right as it opens, there's always going to be a line. It moves enough. You might be there for a little bit. It has so many different books to offer. There's adult, young adult, children's. I believe they also have manga. Obviously go if you're visiting Paris. It's basically a tourist destination in itself. And if you want to buy a book there, they also have really good merch. Hold on. This is one of their tote bags. It comes in this burgundy color and also comes in blue, and they also have other tote ones. But the nice thing about their totes is it's actually sturdy. The straps are thick. It's well sewn. I've had this probably, I want to say 3 years, and it's still in really good condition. So that's another thing. If you want to get merch, I would highly recommend going to Shakespeare & Company. They're entering in the Red Wheelbarrow bookstore. Again, this is a new bookstore, meaning all the books are new. And it's just a cute little, like, cozy little bookstore. I believe actually they have two locations. Um, they're both in the 6th arrondissement, I'm pretty sure. One being very close to the Jardin de Luxembourg. But even, like, the vibe is just very cutesy, very mignon, which means cute in French. They also host a lot of different like bookish events. So if you're in the area, especially if you're staying on the southern half of Paris, I would highly recommend going to this bookstore. They have such a variety of books, and I just think it's a great little bookshop. Those bookshops, so those bookstores that I just spoke about are mainly if you want new books, not secondhand. And the next two that I will speak about are secondhand. They might have like a few options of new books, but for the most part, it is secondhand or pre-loved books. So there's the Abbey Bookshop and San Francisco Book Co. Both of these have a vibe that you want to have when you're going to a secondhand book establishment. Like there's books everywhere. You also need to be in the mood to root and scavenge and find books at places like this. So if that's your vibe, go to these places. You're gonna find something. The staff is very welcoming. They'll help you look for things or make recommendations. It's just very like bookish core. As you can see by the pictures, it's so charming and like what you want secondhand bookstores to look like. And I would just highly recommend. I also believe they're not too far from each other either. So maybe you could do the ones on the north half on Rive Droite, on Rue Rivoli, and then another day you can do the ones on Rive Gauche, the Abbey in San Francisco and Red Wheelbarrow, and then maybe make it up to Shakespeare and Company. You could do a whole agenda just based off of these different bookshops. So like I said, these book establishments, these bookshops, librairies are so special. They're all independently owned, which is so important because there are places that you can get English books like Fnac or other like more chain establishments that of course sell English books. But for me, I personally prefer to go to standalone stores just because I like to give back to smaller businesses. And I just think there's a certain little charm, especially when you're coming to Paris. Like you guys want the charm, you want the je ne sais quoi about Paris, and I really think all of these bookstores really have that quality to it. So please, if you're in Paris, check out these locations and let me know your thoughts and what you might buy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!